right, hello. We're here at GDC. It's the end of the run for us, but we saw some great indie games.
A lot of great indie games. That's what's great about GDC is you get to check out a lot of small titles, a lot of one-on-one interactions.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them. We were hanging out at IGF. We saw all kinds. We went over to the Humble Bundle headquarters and had some sit-down time with a few. What were some of the ones? You saw Galaxy Z. Did you like that?
I saw Galaxy Z. Galaxy Z is kind of right in my wheelhouse, you know, because it's heavily inspired by things like Robotech and Macross. It's totally going for that vibe, that's a sort of late 70s, early 80s anime feel, and I have a strong nostalgia for that. But the gameplay itself is really cool. It's sort of like a more intense Gradius with a lot of modern features. It has randomized levels, so you're going in and you don't exactly know what your objective is going to be or where enemies are going to be placed, but it's very difficult to control, so you sort of have a thruster and a brake, and it's this top-down view, and when you stop thrusting, you have to worry about momentum, and so there are a lot of times, you know, where you're thrusting forward, you're getting a lot of speed, and then it's like, oh no, wait, I have to stop because there are bombs ahead.
Right.
And so trying to...
Do you have to like turn real quick and then thrust the other way?
Yeah, you either have to turn, you have to like nimble through it, you know, that's not a term, but we're gonna say it
nimble
is.
Nimble through it.
And you also, I feel like they took a lot of inspiration from fighting games as well, because you have this, if you hit the square button, you can actually jump over other people's laser beams.
Okay.
And so you'll be doing this thing where you're trying to control your momentum, watch out for these obstacles, and jump over laser beams while shooting missiles.
So there is a little bit of space, like 3D Z-axis stuff, but largely it's on one plane, right?
Exactly, because you'll actually, like when you jump, you'll jump towards the screen.
Okay, cool. Get a little bigger.
Yeah.
So another one that we saw, which, full disclosure, I also cut one of their trailers, the quotes one, a game called Narcosis.
It was terrifying.
It's a scary game.
Yes.
You're in an underwater dive suit, I guess, and you've been cut off from your friends, and it's an Oculus. We played it in an Oculus, which is so intense. I don't know if I could play a whole game on Oculus, but you can look down and see like your oxygen readout and all this stuff, and you're just underwater and squids come at you, and like the demo we played, we were in a man-made structure which they hadn't previously revealed, which is pretty cool. And some not supernatural but some weird elements, like where you're in that little room and then you're spinning, you come in a door and then you're spinning around in this room and then the door's gone and then all of a sudden a hallway is there and like things get really intense.
Right, and there's something especially terrifying about being underwater and being in this suit. You know, you feel like you're trapped, and you can kind of dash forward, get these quick bursts of speed, but for the most part, like, you kind of just, if you get in a fight with something, you're locked in. You can't just run away. You know, that really isn't an option.
And the constant search for more oxygen too. Like you can asphyxiate, and if you the less oxygen you have, the more, I don't know, narcosed. I don't know if that's a word, but
we're gonna go with it.
The more narcosis, I don't know, that you get. Like you start going like psychedelic and weird, and like not psychedelic, but like you start freaking out and like seeing weird stuff.
And I love how they represent damage as well. You know, you don't really have like a life bar.
Yeah.
When the squid latches onto your face, very facehugger alien style, your helmet will start cracking, and that makes the oxygen deplete even faster, which is really cool.
Very scary.
So
another one, two that I wanted to mention just quickly. I didn't get a chance to play them very much, but Submerged is a really cool kind of open world. You're this girl in a boat and her brother's sick and you have to like go around. It's post-apocalyptic. It's beautiful looking. We played it at ID at Xbox. I think it'll be on PC and some other consoles, PS4 as well. And then another one I played at Humble Bundle. I didn't get a long time with it. It reminded me of that Nascence E game that I was talking about a while ago, but it was called Memory of a Broken Dimension. I think that's right. It's just got a really crazy visual look. I can't wait to see more. It seems right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I didn't get to play it, unfortunately, but just watching the screen briefly, it had a really cool vibe to it.
Yeah. And then
another one that I saw that you didn't see is called Zodiac, which actually kind of has a cool story behind it. There's this guy, his name's Mario. He worked at Ubisoft, and he got a job at this mobile company because he said, hey, I want to make Final Fantasy. So it's this Western guy who's actually got the script writer from Final Fantasy Tactics on board to write this original story. And they're starting on mobile, but they'll actually take it to the Vita as well.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And what it is it's that it really is. Like someone said, hey, I'm getting sick of you guys not putting out enough classic old school Final Fantasy games, and he made his own because
took things into his own hands.
Yeah, so the Zodiac name is actually kind of a throwback to those classic titles because you know the Zodiac job system. So like you can be all these different classes, and then you can mix abilities from those classes, and you can switch mid-battle.
Is it sort of like tactics, or is it even more involved than that?
It's very so. If you're familiar with tactics and you're familiar with how that job system works, it's very, very similar to that.
Cool.
And the art is reminiscent of that as well.
Oh, cool.
And what they're going to do is they're going to release it in episodes. And it's going to be persistent. So if you start playing on the iPad and you want to go to the Vita, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
Also, imagine all of those old school Final Fantasy games, but you could bring a friend. That is co-op.
Co-op.
So we can play the entire game together. And we'll be separate characters in the story.
And it's not a tactical game, but it just has a job system.
No, it's a turn-based RPG.
Okay,
so you have an overworld. You explore, you fight bosses, that sort of thing.
The other one that we saw follow up, they actually reached out to us after we did a different Just Played on SteamWorld Dig. Is the new one from them, SteamWorld Heist.
Yes.
It looks awesome.
It looks
awesome. The graphics, the art style is beautiful. It's really cool. Like pixel, like painterly pixels. Painterly pixels. Piracy. But no, there's no piracy. But they're like space cowboys, and it's a tactical, turn-based, sort of 2D XCOM where you're doing these heists, and you have a spaceship, and you can customize the spaceship, you can customize your characters. Certain classes of characters like XCOM, if they die, they're dead, but you'll get a different person that's of that class, but they don't have all the upgraded abilities that the other one did, so it's very cool, like that persistent death. Randomized enemy ships, right? Where you'll have similar situation, but a different layout and stuff like that, different enemies. It looks so cool.
Something I was not expecting is I saw personally at least 3 or 4 games where they're like, yeah, we really like XCOM and wanted to make that. One of the things I really like in XCOM, you know, when you target somebody, you have a percentage, like, okay, I have a 50% chance to hit based on how far away I am from them or how much cover they have. What I really like about SteamWorld Heist is you actually have to aim your shot.
It's a skill shot.
And so, you know, you can't keep your aim completely steady, so they're kind of bobbing up and down, and you have to account for that.
Different guns behave different ways. Like the main character, her gun sort of has like a laser sight.
It absolutely has a laser sight.
Yeah, it does have a laser sight. You can't sort of have a laser sight. But it can ricochet, so you can shoot a bullet off the back wall and hit someone in the head, but the gun doesn't do as much damage.
Right.
Whereas Seabrass...
Oh, great name.
the other guy had like a hand cannon sort of a gun, and his did not have a sight of any kind, so you had to eyeball it, but if you hit the guy in the head, they were just pretty much done for. Yeah. So good. Also, we saw Zombie Vikings by the same people. The game looked really cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more of that. It's sort of a brawler. My favorite thing about that is when the zombies die, you don't have like a go over to them and revive. It's more like pick up their head and put it back on kind of a thing, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and you can even use it as a weapon. So if you die and I get your head on my sword, you'll vomit all over the place.
So those games were really rad.
Yeah, great sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, we saw all kinds of other indies. Pry and Donut County and like Icebound and like so many that we saw at IGF. It's just crazy with indies here.
Too much to talk about.
Too much to talk about. But we're gonna take off. But GDC, super cool, really good vibes, really good games. Thanks for watching.
Bye.